Jeremy Korbell, filmmaker and UFO investigator, is back in the news, and he has some big news, actually. He has come equipped with some more evidence, some more visual evidence of the extraterrestrial presence that is here on Earth. Anyway, here's an article from the Daily Mail. This was published today, January 24th, and it says, exclusive, metallic-looking orb is seen flying over Iraqi city of Mosul in 2016. First ever publicly revealed UFO footage taken by U.S. spy plane in a conflict zone, as expert warns of significant risk to troops overseas. Okay, here's I'm going to just read through this article and we'll talk about it here. It says dailymail.com obtained an exclusive image of a metallic-looking orb flying over an Iraqi city caught on video by a United States spy plane. The image, captured in April 2016 by an intelligence reconnaissance plane, was included in a classified briefing video on UFOs shown to multiple United States government agencies. The briefing video describes it as a short clip of an unidentified flying orb that appears to have a metallic shine on its surface and shows the strange object flying over the city of Mosul in northern Iraq, with the background of the shot showing the streets below. And now I just want to stop here for a second. Now, of course, people listening to the podcast, you can't see this, so I will leave a link to this article, and you can see the images when you get a chance. And also, I'll include it in the video version of this podcast. Okay, continuing, it says, it is the first publicly revealed image from the United States U.S. government's ongoing UFO investigation showing an unidentified craft over a conflict zone. A UFO flying around where the United States military is operating has sparked security and safety concerns at the Department of Defense, with military officials worried it could endanger pilots and ground troops. Although the image itself is not classified, footage from which the image was captured was part of a classified briefing produced by the Pentagon's Unidentified Aerial Phenomena Task Force, UAPTF, a unit tasked with investigating UFO incidents, which has now been replaced by another office in the Department of Defense, which is, by the way, ARROW. It was obtained by journalists Jeremy Korbell and George Knapp. By the way, two guys. Who else? Jeremy Korbell and George Knapp. Two guys out there constantly doing the hard work, constantly talking to people, going on the mainstream media, but yet still we're not getting anywhere. We still have people trying to downplay this whole thing. Yet these two guys keep doing a lot of the footwork for us here. Okay, anyway, continuing. It says it was obtained by journalists Jeremy Korbell and George Knapp, who have released the image on their new UFO podcast, Weaponized. I will also leave a link for their new UFO podcast. That's something you should definitely check out. The briefing describes and shows the UFO as moving from south to north, adding that it does not appear to descend. In a 4-second video titled Mosul Orb included in the briefing, the UFO appears for 1 second as it flies along the MC-12 spy plane. Intriguingly, the object appears to have no apparent flight surfaces like wings or discernible propulsion. Well, let's stop there for a second. Well, that's because it's intriguing, and it is very intriguing that there's no wings or discernible propulsion on these objects. I mean, how many odd people have seen these sort of objects over the decades? But here you're seeing it over this Iraqi city. And they're everywhere. They're all over the place. People see them all over the world. I mean, it's no one's exempt. No area in this world is exempt from these kind of sightings. Anyway, continuing, it says an intelligence source with operational knowledge of the footage said it was filmed using FMV, full motion video, by DGS-1, implying that the plane sensors captured infrared and other data when it filmed the UFO. DailyMail.com understands that officials who assembled the briefing video believe the orb was under intelligent control. So officials that put that briefing video together and showed it to the Congress say that it's under intelligent control. There you go. We don't have objects like that that could move around under intelligent control. The human race doesn't make things that look like this, that move around at high speeds and, have no visible means of propulsion. We don't have stuff like that. Anyway, continuing. It says one intelligence source said the video was sent to the Joint Base Langley Eustis in Virginia, where imagery and electronic signals intelligence experts studied it for United States Central Command, or CENTCOM. Despite being analyzed and studied by intelligence experts for over 6 years, the incident remains unexplained. Of course it remains unexplained. Well, I'll tell you what. Actually, no, it's not unexplained. Actually, it's operated by alien beings. That's what it is. That's the explanation. It is not unexplained. These things are, though, things like the things I was just talking about before, the objects in Ukraine, right? This orb in Iraq, right? It's not unexplained. they're non-human intelligence. That's the explanation. They're being operated by non-human intelligences that have technology that far exceeds anything the human race has. Continuing. DailyMail.com can now reveal that the case formed part of the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, ODNI, preliminary assessment on UFOs, a report published in May 2021, which analyzed 144 cases and found an explanation for just one. Okay, so that object was part. This is the kind of stuff they're not showing you. Right. So this is from the 2021 report, right? That May 2021 report where they had 144 objects and they said one of them was a balloon and they didn't have answers for the other ones. And this happens to be one of those objects in the report. So obviously they're not going to have an answer for that. The only answer is, well, it's nothing that we know of. Must be from outer space. Must be, from someplace else, it must be non-human intelligence, that's the answer. That's the real answer. I mean, again, it's the same thing as with what's going on in Ukraine now. Now that we know, again, it's interesting. When that Ukraine paper came out, I at that time when that Ukraine paper came out, I was saying stuff like, "Hey, yeah, the paper's incomplete, but you can't jump to conclusions yet. We got to wait and see what else happens. Maybe they give these astronomers some time to come out with some more information." And then now they have. So we see, okay, now they're not insects, they're not birds, it's not artillery. So obviously there's only one answer. Right, there's only one answer, and the same with this thing is you see the picture of this object, right, and you hear the report that comes along with it. You realize pretty quickly, well, it's obviously this is extraterrestrial. It's alien to our world as far as we could tell. Anyway, continuing here, it says the ODNI published a second report this month, which said it has analyzed 510 cases up to August 30th, 2022. In October last year, DailyMail.com revealed information from the classified version of this report sent to Congress. One source who had seen the report described dozens of videos on classified servers showing metallic-looking orbs captured by U.S. spy planes or drones in the Middle East, similar to the image released today. These drones operate 20 to 25,000 feet up in the air and they're flying around. We're keeping an eye on bad guys all over the world, the source said. An operator will be zoomed in looking at a town in Syria, and all of a sudden, a little orb will go flying through the viewfinder. The operator's like, what the hell? And so he starts focusing on it and he just watches the orb for a while. We might get it for 30 seconds, we might get it for 10 minutes, and then it will do something remarkable, like suddenly bolt off the screen. See, there you go. I mean, come on. What are we playing these games for anymore? We all know what it is, right? This is non-human intelligences. That's what it is, right? We know what it is. That's the explanation. Then we have to ask ourselves, what the hell are they doing here? Well, a lot of us have some ideas about that, and we've talked about that in the podcast, but that's not for now. Let's just start admitting the obvious here, right? The image obtained by DailyMail.com was taken at 9:47 a.m. Coordinated Universal Time on April 16, 2016, according to its timestamp. There were also precise coordinates of where the images were taken in northern Iraq, but Korbell told DailyMail.com he removed them out of an abundance of caution to avoid the release of sensitive information. CENTCOM forces have been deployed in the Middle East since 2014 to conduct military operations against ISIS. DailyMail.com understands that congressional intelligence and defense committees have seen the image and footage as part of a briefing given by the UAP task force, a previous incarnation of the government's UFO office. Anyway, I'm going to stop reading there. There's a lot more to this article, but I highly recommend that you check it out. Because all of it's very, very interesting. But I just want to point something out here. You have to wonder after these objects over Ukraine and objects over Iraq, where there's fighting going on, all these places in the world where I think it's probably happening all over the world. But you have to wonder what these beings think of us, right? They see all this destruction ongoing in Ukraine, right? They see, murder and chaos in Iraq. They see all these things, from their orbs and saucers and whatnot, right? Objects, cylinder shape, who knows what they're flying around in all kinds of different shapes and sizes, right? But you have to wonder, what from their viewpoint, what are they seeing? You have to wonder, actually, are we the bad guys? Right. If there's a galactic federation out there, and they're, they look at all different other planets throughout the galaxy or galaxies or whatever, who knows how far they extend, right? If there is in fact some sort of a galactic federation, you have to wonder, like, do they look at Earth and see, wow, these people are bad, right? Look what they do to each other. It's unbelievable, right? The horrors that we inflict upon each other. I just read a story, this morning or yesterday. Some guy walks in some place, shoots 11 people, then shoots himself, right? Then there's, that guy walks in with a knife and stabs 4 young college kids, and all that kind of stuff. You have all this hatred going on between people. You have all these battles going on all over the world. If you're from the standpoint of the United States, right? Like, as a United States citizen, we look as a people, we look to countries like Iran, and we're concerned that they're developing nuclear weapons. We're concerned about that. We look to countries like North Korea, and we see a dictator with a stupid haircut and who has control over nuclear weapons, and we think that that's terrible. It's bad, right? We don't like that, right? We looked at countries like Russia attacking Ukraine, right? We don't like that. We hate it. These are threats to the world, right? But and then we have problems right here. We have people killing each other right here in this United States of America, right? So there's all kinds of violence and chaos constantly ongoing everywhere, all over this planet at all times, right? Like the way, like the people here, though, the way they look at a country like, say, Iran, like the people in the United States and other countries will look at a place like Iran and they'll all be concerned that they're developing nuclear weapons. Do the aliens look at the world in totality and wonder to themselves, this place is getting really out of control. They're getting more advanced all the time. What are we going to do about it? Maybe that's what's going on here. Maybe they're watching us and going to make a determination at some point. This is getting out of control. They're getting more advanced every single day. What are we going to do about it? Do we let them get out into space and come after us next, maybe? What are we going to do? Like, are they monitoring our progress and with concern, for the future? I wonder. Like, again, the same way that you hear, like, one country might look at another country with concern, right? Do these aliens, are they looking at the world as a whole in totality and saying, wow, this is getting out of control? I wonder. Anyway, until next time.